Welcome to Jets Talk. My name's Ryan. I'll be your pilot. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. Boys and girls, we're going to talk a little Mekhi Becton news today. This came out from Newsday. I saw an article over there with some comments and quotes and things like that, and I want to talk about it as well as the left tackle Mekhi Becton sort of situation overall. Now, we've seen some really cool pictures of Mekhi Becton. The most recent one from training camp or from, workouts. This dude looks totally different from years past. It seems like he has an entirely new energy. The health and the fitness seems to be all there. He's at all the team activities this year as opposed to last year where he kind of spent a lot more of his time, I don't know where he was spending it, but he wasn't with the team. He was having his first kid and they were training in a different area, whatnot. But this year, he's looking good. He's looking real good. But I saw some interesting comments in the article, so I'm going to link the article down below if you guys want to read the full thing. But I want to go over some of the snippets that were discussed in this. And a lot of this kind of circled around the "I am a left tackle" quote that we saw a little bit ago. Mekhi Becton put it out on his Instagram or Twitter, and then Coach Saleh was asked about it, and Saleh basically said, hey, you got to go out and earn it. And I think that's where a lot of people sided with Robert Saleh on this issue because we haven't seen Mekhi Becton in the last 2 years, and we need him to earn it. We want him to earn it. I think all fans want to see Mekhi Becton succeed here. We had such high hopes after his rookie season, and then the last 2 years we just haven't seen him play because of injury. So, in Mekhi Becton's head, he's saying, hey, the last time I started for this team, I was the starting left tackle. Now I'm being told, oh, I got to earn left tackle. Oh, I got to, you're a right tackle now and all this other stuff. So there's a lot of, things that are probably going through his head as well as the team and the fans. And it's not necessarily all lining up because we all have different perspectives on everything going on here. So let's go into some of the comments that I saw. So he says, I was just saying on Instagram, I know what I am. Becton said, I got drafted as a left tackle. I dominated as a left tackle my rookie year, and I was going to dominate my second year, and that unfortunate injury happened. I'm a natural left tackle, not a right tackle. I don't care what people say. I know I'm going to go out there and prove it. People know what I can do. They've seen what I can do as a rookie, and I'm better now than I was then. Got nothing wrong with all that. Getting excited. He seems confident and fired up. That's how I want to see my players. I want him to feel like he's going to dominate, and then I want him to go out there and prove it to us. He follows that up with, it made no sense to put me out at right tackle, he said. I hurt my right knee. That's going to be the knee that I put the most pressure on while backpedaling in pass protection. I explained it to the coaches, but no one cared. That part is where I start to go a little bit off the rails because everything that looked positive about Mekhi Becton heading into this season, there still appears to be like some type of maybe angst, or at least that's the way I kind of read it here. It's like, man, it's like, the coaches are the reason why, I didn't succeed last year because I got hurt. I told them about that. Becton said his knee didn't feel right in training camp last year on the day that he was injured, and the end result was another lost season. He says, I got forced to play a position I don't play, and then I was pretty much telling them I wasn't feeling good the whole time throughout camp, and I was told I shouldn't be complaining, he said. Go out there and do it. I was limping throughout the whole practice, and I just took a step and my knee buckled, and I got hurt again and had to get reconstructive surgery. So that old line right there, this whole paragraph is probably the piece of the whole puzzle that scares me the most. And if Mekhi Becton is telling his coaches, hey, something doesn't feel right, and they're telling him, no, stop complaining, go out there and continue playing, that's not good. And maybe that's, he doesn't necessarily say Saleh said it. He doesn't necessarily say, any particular coach said it. Maybe it was health and training coaches that he was talking to. I don't fully know, but I don't love this. When a player says, hey, I'm not feeling right, these guys know their bodies. They know how they're feeling, through workouts, through everything. Now, I guess you could say Mekhi Becton, if he knew how he was feeling and, why wouldn't he take himself out of the drill and say, hey, look, I can't do it. I think the chip on his shoulder that he felt the last 2 years, but definitely going into last year, probably pushes him more to prove people wrong. And maybe he was not chirping as loud as he needed to chirp to not have the pressure on his leg if it wasn't feeling 100%. Now, as far as the whole left tackle, right tackle thing, like I'm playing a position I don't play. Dude, you got drafted by an NFL team, and you actually did play a little bit of right tackle at Louisville. Granted, you were a left tackle. You dominated as a left tackle. But dude, you're told where to go. If they want you as backup left tackle or backup right tackle, sorry, dude, that's where you're going to be. You got to be a good soldier. You got to prove everyone wrong and prove it on the field. So I think as far as like putting me in a position where I don't play, I don't agree with that. I'm more concerned about the, hey, we're not listening, or my coaches aren't listening to me as far as like my health. And I think that's a little more concerning. He goes on, he says, when asked about his relationship with the coaching staff now, Becton said, they're okay. I mean, it is what it is. Well, that's a ringing endorsement if I've ever heard one. That's not great. The Jets have since hired new offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett and offensive line coach in former Titans assistant Keith Carter. So hopefully this new coaching staff, maybe there's a little bit better chemistry going on right now, and maybe he's just referring to like, hey, I just haven't really worked with them yet. Becton is confident that he will regain his spot as the starting left tackle and trusted to protect Rodgers' blind side. They've been putting me on the depth chart as their third string tackle because I've got to earn it, he said. But I know within a week I'm going to be starting on the left-hand side. I would love to see that. And it probably brings up a little, it brings into question a good problem to have, I think. And that's if Mekhi Becton can earn the left tackle spot. You have Dwayne Brown, who's only ever played left tackle at 38 years old. So there's the whole old dog, new tricks kind of a thing. What do you do with Dwayne Brown at that point? But that's a good problem to have. Dwayne Brown's 38 years old. You want your young 4 or 5 years old, Mekhi Becton is, to earn the left tackle, and you want him to lock it down. So if Mekhi Becton displaces Dwayne Brown, that's a good thing. I actually really like this. Now, what would you do on the right-hand side of this whole formation? I think this could be why McGovern was brought in or brought back in, because maybe there's a situation where you're not putting Dwayne Brown on the right-hand side. You're going to give Max Mitchell an opportunity to start right there, and then worst-case scenario, maybe it is AVT on that right-hand side if Becton earns the left tackle. Now, if Dwayne Brown earns left tackle, then Becton, sorry, you're going over to the right-hand side. But I'm just saying, like, in that weird sort of situation, maybe Brown doesn't wind up moving over. You have McGovern kick over to one of the guards. Tittman starts at center, or vice versa. Tittman, McGovern, center guard. And then you have, obviously, Tomlinson at left guard. It's fascinating. I'm not exactly sure how I feel about all these comments here. And then the final bit of this whole thing, asked about Salah's reaction to the Instagram post, Becton said he didn't do anything except wake another beast up. I was already awakened, but he didn't do anything except poke it more. I'm ready. Becton added, I'm striving to be the best tackle in the league. The Jets have their questions about Becton, how Becton will respond, and it was instructive that they chose... Instructive? It was instructive that they chose not to sign Becton to his fifth-year option, meaning that he will become an unrestricted free agent after the season ends unless the Jets sign him to a new deal or apply the franchise tag in 2024. Just another chip on my shoulder, Becton said, of not being signed to the option. I've really got a million of them. It'll be 1,000,001. It's all good. I've been doubted my whole life. It just makes me go harder. Just keep doubting me. Just that whenever I do what I know I'm going to do, don't try to come back to this side. That's all I've got to say. So this is a lot of news. This sort of implies, like, don't try to come back to this side. So if the Jets decline your fifth-year option and you prove you're the best left tackle in the league or the best tackle in the league, I would expect the Jets are probably going to franchise tag you because of the health the last few years. And then you're going to have to prove it, one more additional year. But this doesn't really scream to me like he loves the idea of being here, like, overall. Like the don't try to come back to this side. Maybe he's just talking to fans and the doubters, and the team is still surrounding him with like, hey, we want you to be our guy. But putting him third on the depth chart at tackle, it seems like that's where he's taken a little bit of, a slight to all this. And then also having the whole, don't come back to my side. If you know what I'm going to do, don't come back to this side. I don't know. That every time Becton kind of talks, I sort of get the willies. Like it seems like I feel like his heart is in the right place. Like he wants to prove everyone wrong. He's clearly doing the work. The guy looks like he's in the best shape I've ever seen him in the 4 years he's been in the league. And as far as like, Okay, yeah, unfortunate injury year 2. You wind up getting rolled up on by Greg Van Roten, not your fault at all. Now, the injury in training camp, if the coaches are not listening to him, that is a huge, huge issue, and you're concerned about the weight you're putting on that right knee that you needed to have repaired. At the same time, don't show up to camp 400 pounds. That puts a ton of stress on that knee. If you cared at all about leg day and you drop some weight, maybe you wouldn't have put as much stress on that right leg as you did. I think it's probably a little bit of 50-50 in terms of what happened to Mekhi Becton was kind of Mekhi Becton's fault as well as kind of the coaching staff's fault if they're not listening to their player on the health concerns. So this is a little bit of an odd situation. I don't particularly like this. It gives me the willies. I want Mekhi Becton to earn the left tackle job. I want him to be the lockdown guy for the next 10 years. This is a great problem to have if you're the New York Jets. I just hope he stays healthy and that we kind of click on all cylinders. And then if the offensive line is a little screwy because now we don't know what happens with right tackle because Becton has earned left tackle and we don't know what's going to go on with Brown, I will welcome that problem every damn day. So guys, let me know how you feel about Mekhi Becton, where he's at mentally. What do you think about his shape? What do you think happens with the offensive line? Where do you think the 5 guys wind up starting? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, go Jets.